Connie Stewart with SimplySimpleStamping.com, and I am here to share with you for July 2014 Stampin' Gals Gone Wild. I told you this month it's all going to be about box making, and I think you are just going to fall in love with this really adorable scratch paper and business card box. So when this sits on your desk, the business cards will face out of your desk so people can pick up a card, but what is facing you will be a really great little scratch pad holder. 200 sheets of scratch paper. Very fun and just a really great idea. I think you're going to like it. Let's get going with our project for today. All right, so in your tutorial, you have a complete diagram of how to cut your cardstock. I want you to make sure you double check your measurements with the measurements that are on the paper, because for instance, you're going to cut it down to 4.5 inches, and then what's remaining, you've got to cut it down to 3.5 inches. So you are going to be trimming a 1/2 inch off. Just really stop and make sure you've got all your measurements right. I want the project to go well for you. That's why I give you that tip. These are the 3 pieces that you're going to need. You notice we did all of this with just 1 sheet of cardstock. Thank you very much. I was quite proud of that. And so now I'm going to teach you how to do the scoring. All right, I'm going to bring in my Simply Scored board, and if you recall in our last video, I shared with you how to create this box maker shim. Guys, this is absolutely 100% crucial for this project to go together right. And let me share with you the reasons why we need to use that shim. This shim is what makes everything just a little bit bigger. Well, by doing that, that's what's going to allow my paper to fit down in my box. When you don't use this shim, I'll tell you right now, this paper will not fit. And when you go to put your business cards in, if you have not scored it with that shim in place, these business cards will not fit. Can you tell? I've done this before. I tried to make it work, and I thought, oh, of course I needed the box maker shim. So now that I've got my little disclaimer out of the way, all 3 pieces that we're going to score with the shim in place. So let's start with the box that we're going to put our scratch paper in. This piece is the 4.5 by 5.5. I've got my shim in place, and if you recall, I shared with you when you put your cardstock in the Simply Scored, just make sure it's not going underneath that shim, that you haven't got it lifted up or anything like that. So just clip it on in place and just kind of gently lay it on there so it's laying against the shim. We are going to score this at 1 inch on all 4 sides, again on all 4 sides, making sure that we're not going underneath that shim. All right, so we've got those 4 done. I'll set that off to the side. Now let's do the business card holder. This piece I believe is 2.5 by 4.5. We're going to put the 4.5 inch side up at the top, the 2.5 inch side down the side there. You're going to score it 1/2 inch, rotate it around, and score it 1/2 inch. Do not attempt to go 1/2 inch and 4. That will not work, again, because that shim is giving us the space that we need. So make sure you always rotate the cardstock to score the other side. We're now going to put the 4.5 inch side up against that shim, and we're going to score it 1 inch, flip it around, and score it 1 inch. So that is the business card holder. We'll set that off to the side. One last one here, guys. This one is the 3.5 inch by 10. Let's lay it up against the shim, and we're going to score it 1 inch, 2 inch, and 3 inches. Rotate it all the way around, and you're going to score it 3.5 inches. That is going to be the stand to our scratch paper box. So all of our scoring is done. We can put the Simply Scored away. Let's go ahead and start with our box, our scratch paper box. As you can see, and I did kind of do this in the shim video as well, we are going to cut along the score lines right here at this little square that's on the end. Now, I do like to miter my boxes. When you do the mitering, I only want you to be cutting on these squares. If you're cutting on anything else, you need to stop what you're doing. Back the truck up and try again. We should only be cutting on these little square tabs. And all I do is I start from the inside, cut to the outside to cut a little triangle off. So from the inside to the outside. Let's go ahead and repeat that all the way around. All right, now we can come in with the bone folder, and we're just going to give all of these a good harsh crease. I've said it before, boxes, don't try to just fold it without using a bone folder. Boxes need to have those really harsh edges to look like a box. Otherwise, they get a little rounded. Now, one thing I have learned with this scratch paper holder is once the paper gets down a little low, it's kind of hard to pull the paper out. So I'm going to come in with a 1-inch circle punch. If you have the 1 1/4 inch circle punch, that's going to work fine as well. Any of them, actually. 1 inch is what I had handy. So you can see we're going to cut a little notch out of that, and now we can put our box together. I'm now going to be working with the fast fuse adhesive. A great tip a demonstrator shared with me is to use the silicone mat every time you're using the fast fuse, because that way if it hits that mat, it doesn't stick. And just to kind of share with you again, because I know the fast fuse is a brand new tool for us, but if you'll just kind of, once you get it started, just give it a little flick. You really don't have to roll it anymore. It just kind of does what it wants, and I love that. It does take a little practice. See, like that, I got a little stringy there, and that means I just need to roll it. Don't let it frustrate you, because let me tell you, it's still so much easier than sticky strip, I'll tell you that. All right, when it comes to putting these together, move that out of the way so you don't have to look at that. You're just going to line up those two edges just like that. So you get a really nice, soft, but harsh, soft but harsh, whatever, Connie, I don't know what that means. Basically, I just want it to look like a pretty box. I don't want it to overlap or anything. I just want those edges to meet up really nicely and have a nice little relationship. So for the business card holder, see this little square that we have right here? We're just going to cut up to the score line. And just like we did before, how we mitered that little guy, we're going to do the exact same thing. But remember my little rule, if you're not cutting on that square, you're cutting on the wrong thing. So only thing I'm cutting on is that little square right there in the middle. So you can see we have that. We're going to fold this just like we did with the box, and then we can put it together. Okay, just as we did before, and we're only going to put the fast fuse on this one area right here, and then also on our little tab, okay? Again, I'm going to bring in that silicone pad. It's just going to make my life a lot easier, so we'll do that one, and we're going to repeat that same process right there. Now, to put this together, again, move this out of the way, I'm going to put my little tab right here on the outside of this box. Come here. Ooh, I tell you, that fast fuse is some strong stuff. Just like so. And now we can put this one together here. Now, I know what you're thinking. Connie, look at that. It looks so tacky right there. Don't worry, we're going to be hiding that. So you notice this little, oh, I hope you can see that. This does not come all the way over normally like a box would. Don't let that flip you out, because we're going to be covering that up. Okay, so to cover it up, I have a piece of our All Abloom Designer Series paper stack. This that paper is going to come 4.5 by 6.5. I have it cut down to 3/4 of an inch, and we are just going to attach this here around our box. And guys, we can actually just do that with some snail. All right, so I've got my snail adhesive on there all the way down. I can just attach that like so. We're going to wrap this around. Again, I'm not going to worry about it too much, because this here is going to be attached to my stand. We won't even see all of that hideousness right there. All right, the stand is just very easy. We're just going to give these some good creases. When you come to the area with the 3 creases, you're actually going to accordion fold that like so. So our stand is going to have a little triangle. Look, just like that. Okay, I'm going to bring in my box, because what we're going to do now is we're going to adhere this. This is the 3.5 inch side. We're going to adhere that to the inside of the box. This piece here is going to adhere to the outside of the box. So, just so you can see, this is sandwiched in between, just like so. When you put your fast fuse on this one, you might want to do 2 strips of it. I've left just a little bit of space in between. Basically, this box is 1 inch wide, so I got about 1 inch there. And then, of course, now, before I go and do anything, I can kind of see this is where my adhesive is going to go. So basically, I have adhesive on this side, and I have to flip it over to get adhesive on this side. I can see my notched out side. I don't want my box to go on there. So hopefully you guys can see that in the camera okay. So we're just going to adhere that inside there, just like that. This piece is going to now attach to the outside. I can just kind of visually line that up so that I know it'll kind of be nice and flat. Now you can kind of see the direction that we're going. We're getting things put together there. I can now take my little business card holder, and that's going to attach to this. Now, it was a little tricky trying to get the fast fuse on here, but really there's no other way to do it except to do it at the end. But you know what? If you'll just hold your hand in there, I was amazed. It really went on pretty darn easy, even though I didn't have a flat surface. So you just kind of put your fingers in there and you're able to get that on there. I know it's not the most glamorous way, but it gets the job done, right? Okay, so what I like to do on this one is I want to hold my stand down so that it's nice and flat. I can then bring my business card box and bring it over. And now I have got this all put together. We're doing great. Now, it is a little loppy-sided, right? So let me show you though, once you put your business cards in, it weighs that down really well. So we've got the weight that we need there. This is pretty desperate for something. So let me show you what I did. You've got a diagram for this as well. This is 20 sheets of copy paper that I cut down 2.5 by 3.5. Just follow the diagram. You're going to be super happy that you did. And when I told you before that you want to use that shim, this is why, because look how perfect that scratch paper fits in there. If you don't use that shim, you know what you're going to have to do? You're going to have to trim 200 sheets of paper down by a little hair, and you don't want to do that. Well, you can see we're starting to come together. Now let's doll it up and make it look cute. It is all about the cute factor. I used 2 stamp sets today. I used the Flower Patch stamp set. I know a lot of you guys have picked up the Flower Patch bundle. We are going to be using the bundle. I have stamped 2 flowers in Melon Mambo and 2 of the leaves in the Mossy Meadow. Now, I got to tell you, I'm going to be honest, I wasn't 100% sure on that Mossy Meadow. I thought it was awfully dark. But oh my heavens, when you put it with that Melon Mambo and Daffodil Delight, oh my gosh, the skies open and the angels wept. So it's fantastic, Mossy Meadow. And then I did the, this is from, oh goody, oh my goody. There you go, oh my goody, I love that. I stamped 1 in Tangelo Twist, and I stamped another one in the Mossy Meadow. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this over to my Big Shot using the matching framelits. I'm going to cut these out with the Flower Patch. I'm going to cut these out with the Deco labels. Now, before I ran this through my Big Shot, I thought I'd come back over to the camera to show you. To save some time, I definitely highly recommend the magnetic platform for this one. But you can line these up and run, and that way you're only running it through the Big Shot twice. So I can run that through, then I can repeat it with the other 3 images. Just thought I'd share that little tip. Okay, I've got all my pieces cut out. I am going to do a little bit of work to this one that was stamped in the Tangelo Twist. I'm going to bring in my cutting, my Stampin' trimmer, and you know, there is a little opening right here, and we do have these great little lines. I am going to line up the lines with that opening. Goodness, I'm trying not to get my head in the camera shot, but I still need to be able to see. So if you see my hair, you'll know why. All right, we're going to cut that one. Hey, I did pretty good. All right, let's rotate it around, and we are going to repeat that edge there. So I'm just going to gently fussy cut along that line. Don't stress over the fussy cutting because most of it's really not going to show. Okay, I'm going to bring in the original sentiment there in the Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to grab a couple Stampin' Dimensionals and put on this here. And this is just going to kind of give us some, just a little dash of color, brighten it up a little bit, and kind of break that up. So we're going to line that up. You can see you're going to line up these edges, line it up there. What do you think? It's awfully cute, huh? All right, well, guys, we're pretty much ready to put this puppy together. So let me, the first thing I want to do is I'm going to take my 2 flowers and I want to line them up back to back. There's kind of only one way to do it, so you just kind of look there. You're going to see one area that's just going to work a little bit better than another. And don't let this stress you out too much, but because we are going to mount this like this, I just want to be able to, I don't want to be all ski-wampus, all right? So I like to use this kind of, it's a more of a sharp petal on there. So what I want to do, I'm going to put that up at the very top. So I'm going to kind of make that my visual. That is the top. So let me come in with some snail, and I'm just going to avoid that little top section there. I think you guys can see that. And I'm going to adhere this on to the front there of my stand. I can now come and I'm going to repeat that on the other side. But before I repeat it on the other side, let's go ahead and get those leaves adhered down. So just some snail on the leaves. And let me see if I can kind of fold this way. So I'm going to put one there and another one. Okay, I got to get those business cards out of the way so I can work. Okay, and one here. So you can see I kind of overlapped them a little bit. Now we're going to put adhesive on here. Oh, but see, I just moved. So let me make sure I've got my, yep, right there. So there's my point. So that's the area I want to avoid. We're going to put snail there. Oops, just cannot seem to get it on that little spot. All right, so now we can kind of line those up like so. And now we have kind of brightness on both sides. So I'll put my business cards back in. I know it must be kind of frustrating. You're trying to look at this from up above, but I hope that you can see the cute factor going on there. Let's now put some adhesive, just snail again, on the back of our Live Well, Laugh Often, Love Much, Love Big. How about we love big? That is going to slightly cover my flower. Oh, is that a great color? I love that Mossy Meadow. I just love it. Now, one last little thing. I've got a little piece of the Tangelo twist ribbon, and it's just there on a mini glue dot. I've cut it kind of small, but check it out. That just, boom, it just pops. It's fantastic. There is our project now. I'm going to do one more thing. I'm probably going to send you over the edge with this one, but you know, Connie has to do that every once in a while. I'm going to come in with a Melon Mambo ink pad, and I have got this little flower from the Flower Patch. I'm going to stamp on 200 sheets of copy paper. Now you're probably going, Connie, you are out of your mind. That's going to take you forever. Do you know, I'm going to be honest, it probably won't even take 5 minutes. In fact, if I do it this way, it'll go even faster. Check me out. Do you see? You can just really whip through these. It'll go faster than you think, but you must admit it really does look cute. So we can do that, and I just inked my fingers. I know you guys never do that. That's just a Connie thing, right? So now we have kind of really cute little decorated flowers in there. That is what I call a great project for the office, don't you think? Now, I wanted to share one other thing, because I know some of you may go, I don't need business cards. I don't have a business. Well, if you were Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, you would, but that's a whole nother topic. But I had another idea for you. Let me bring these in. These are birthday reminders. So I've got January, February, March, of course, all the months. And I can just jot on here whether it's maybe a coworker's birthday, family birthdays. I can jot that on there on the front and back, or I could add more cards. Feel free to add more cards. And I used the Project Life Day After Day, I believe is the name of it. And check it out. I mean, is that fabulous? And that little flower guy. Pardon my dogs barking in the background. That little flower is also from Flower Patch because I had it out anyway. So check it out. When those go inside my box, those are 2 by 3.5, so a standard business card size. But look at that. Is that not adorable? Love how it came out. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that project. I just want to tell you, Josie and I appreciate you so very much. You always are so loyal. I just want you to know that we really, really appreciate you. I hope you enjoyed this project. I hope it's one that you're going to be able to incorporate into your stamping. So guys, have a terrific day, and I'll see you on the next video.